An online community tip a day for 365 days. For almost 8 months now, we've been talking about virtual events and the need to do virtual events because of the pandemic. The fact that we couldn't do live events and meet face to face forced us to do that. And we are also talking about building online communities with all the components and all the pillars that strengthen an online community, be it a forum or a network of peers online, or focus groups, or an online directory, or online training. So when live events come back, and they will, when we're able to do smaller events and medium-sized events and larger events, will the world just go back to the way it was, where we had a community would just meet 2 or 3 days a year, or just when there were physical events? I, I don't think so. I think the stronger communities have learned from this pandemic, and hopefully, if you've been listening to some of these tips, you've been building some of these components. So the point is that face-to-face events and virtual events and the components of online community, they all strengthen each other. They're not alternatives for each other. So we may find that when we go back to live events, that we go back starting with smaller events or maybe regional events, chapter events, if those are the kind we can do at first. And many industries and marketplaces will go back to large global marketplaces, but hopefully that they'll be enhanced from what they've developed and learned in the pandemic to strengthen those communities with all these online community resources, because it'll certainly be a better experience for all those that are involved. And frankly, I think there'll be a bit of survival of the fittest. Those that have evolved and developed into 365 communities for their constituents will be stronger and will be more appealing to the members. And the ones that were simply just a show a year, they probably are going to suffer and lose ground to the communities that are constantly engaging. So be ready and realize that the components complement each other. They're not a threat to each other. And we don't quite yet know where the right mix is, and it may not be the same answer in one industry versus another. But experiment with the different formats within an online community, and we'll continue to give tips of those different formats, and be ready to have an integrated omni-channel mix for your members and help satisfy the needs that bring them to your community in the first place. Have a great day.